We are live.
It's a sound like a sound of relief, Charles.
Aloha, everyone. This is Kauai, your COVID tour guide for today. On this, May Day is Lay Day in Hawaii. Welcome. We'll be taking you on a tour to our agricultural sites here on the island of Kauai with my friend and host of tonight's Mel Raposo. How you doing, brother?
Aloha, I got everything set up, boy. Whew, little scare right there. My computer never like connect, so I had to reboot. Took about 15 minutes for this silly computer to reboot. I'm in the market for a new Mac. I gotta buy me my laptop crashed last week, completely blue screened out. My Mac and my desktop now at home is starting to give me some issues. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us tonight. As you can see, it is May Day. Remember when May Day was always on May 1st? And then, that changed. And now, schools determine when they're going to make their May Day. May Day is Lay Day is May 1st, in my opinion. And that's why, Charlie, nice lay. I got this lay compliments of Shelly Kauai Carvalho. Thank you, Shelly, for this beautiful crown flower lay. And when we're done, we're going to go hang it. I know it's going to be dark, but we're going to go hang it on the mailbox to honor our first responders. I know a lot of you have already done that. I obviously couldn't do them because I got to wear them tonight. So anyway, before we get started tonight, we have Johnny Gordines. He's the president of the Kauai Farm Bureau, and he's going to be sharing with us tonight. But before we do that, hit the share button. Hit the share button, start a watch party. Let's make this go viral. He's going to have a lot of information, not only for farmers, but for those of us that consume farm products, produce, and all of that fancy stuff. So he's going to be coming on. Again, the shirts, people, man, we're over the $1,300 mark now. Doodle Boy shirt's going to be coming out shortly, but for now, $10. Kirk Correa from Island Athletic Tees has donated everything. So all proceeds, all of the $10 will go to Hawaii Community Foundation. And, Charlie, I've upped the goal once the Doodle Boy shirts come in to $3,000. And that'll be a nice donation for.
Yeah, I got something for you. Somebody said that they know why your computer is running slow. They said because you got your computer from the unemployment division, right? That's you got your computer.
I sometimes I feel that way, man. Sometimes I feel that way. It's like I'm not sure why. I went online to go take a look at a new one, and man, these Macs are quite pricey, but they're good. I love Macs, and it connects with my iPhone and my iPad, so it's the way to go. But anyway, we're gonna bring Johnny in, and we're gonna have some fun tonight. Learn a lot about ag and farming here. So let me bring Mr. Gordines in real quick. Let's see how good he is with Zoom.
Yeah.
Thank you all, guys. Thank you all for joining us again. There is Mr. Gordines. We can see him. Can he hear us?
Hello, Johnny. Uh-oh.
Johnny. You are live, Johnny. Okay, he's looking at the instructions. There we go. He's got it.
Some sound.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Last night we took almost 15 minutes trying to get one lawyer. We had a lawyer on last night. That explains it.
I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah, well, you didn't see the beginning. We went through about 15 minutes trying to teach him how to turn on his volume on his phone. But
well,
anyway,
actually,
Johnny, thank you again.
Mel, we had to clear up some things. The first 15 minutes was we was getting Mirandized. We had to know each other's rights before we started with the lawyer.
It was pretty interesting, very informative. But out of all of that legal ease that he was talking about, the biggest takeaway from last night, a lot of questions about unemployment, Johnny. You know what? You know what was his advice to everyone having issues with the online system? Send your claims via regular mail. His clients are getting turnaround times 2, 3, and 4 days because it's done the old-fashioned way. How's that? Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, nothing like the old school. We can relate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you and Charlie can. I'm still young.
Oh, that's right. I excuse that.
Anyway, Johnny, again, thanks. A lot of things going on with the agricultural industry because of COVID. So I'm going to turn this right over to you, my friend. Give us an overview. What's it's like out there? What is farmers, ranchers, and florists, and people like yourself who grow flowers? By the way, Johnny, what's the name of Patsy, what's the name of Johnny? Don't tell me, Johnny. What's the name of Johnny's company? What's the name of your company, Johnny?
Tropical Flowers Express.
Tropical Flowers Express. Normally we don't plug companies, but I gotta tell you,
Jamie?
Patsy ordered flowers from Johnny, Tropical Flowers Express, had it sent to my dad in Seattle, Washington. My dad got emotional because that floral arrangement that you put together, Johnny, brought him back home. He's been up there for a long time. So I just want to say, you guys looking for flowers to ship.
What happened? I lost you.
Huh?
What happened? I can't see you guys. I lost you.
I can see you. I can see
Okay,
you.
wait. There we go.
Man, right in the middle of your commercial, buddy. Anyway, Tropical Flowers Express, Johnny Gordines, fabulous job. So Johnny, we're gonna turn it over, buddy. It's all you, man.
Okay, there's been so much challenges. We didn't need for the governor to shut down the floral industry for Mother's Day. I mean, what's Mother's Day without flowers, right? My whole thing was, if I can order a pizza from Domino's and have it delivered to my house, how come I cannot get one flower arrangement delivered, right?
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
And in the pizza, get flour.
I tell you.
Ha. Okay.
You're pretty pepperoni tonight.
So what's the landscape now? What's the agriculture landscape with COVID and all the shutdowns and what's going on?
In the beginning, when this thing first started coming down, we were kind of like, we were eyes wide open and like, okay, now where do we go from here? Because the county does like 5 sunshine markets weekly throughout the entire island. Our Farm Bureau does 2 sunshine markets, one at the college and one at Kukui'ula on a regular basis. And it was like, wow, where do us farmers sell our produce and our flowers? The hotels shut down. The restaurants shut down. It's like there's no tourists or anything. Hold on. Yeah, there's no tourists. Okay, which is okay, but we still have 70,000 people on the island of Kauai that still need to eat. Okay, they still need to eat. So it's like, it's amazing how things kind of turned around really quickly. First of all, the Farm Bureau started a website. Whoever's out there in the listening audience, and I'm just so honored and thankful to be here today, and to be able to share what I can. And there's no I in team, and if anybody has anything to share, please feel open and share things that I may have missed and not talking about, or somebody that was not included in this conversation. But the Farm Bureau partnered with this gentleman, Matt Oliver, a Kauai High grad. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Kukui'olono store. They have like a Maukamakai sushi. Well, that's Matt over there. And he developed a website called tryeathawaii.com. So we partnered with him and got as much of our farmers to get onto that website and advertise what they have to sell, and customers would go there and they'd pick what they wanted to eat and work directly with the farmers. We didn't get anything out of it. It was just a matter of bringing the consumer and the customer and the farmers together. And then the county's doing kupuna care, which has been fabulous with all the sunshine market vendors. and some of the Kauai County Farm Bureau members, and a lot of them do both our markets and the Sunshine markets, working with the Office of Economic Development, the Office of Elderly Affairs, and going through the Hawaii Food Bank, which has been like, they've been like nonstop busy, feeding people. Because people are home. They're out of jobs. The kids are home. They're not in school. And you know how much us Hawaii people love to eat, right? We love food, right?
Absolutely.
So, and there's a lot of food. There's a lot of food out there. And then Warren Haruki guys, Grow Farm, they opened up the Puhi Produce Market. We went out there and started that market. It started out with like 25 vendors, and now they up to 40 vendors, and they're doing that twice a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays is from 2 to 4 o'clock. Saturdays is from 10 to 2 o'clock. Or, you know, kind of when people sell out, if you sold out by 12, I think by 12 o'clock, you can leave. And if people still have stuff, you can go around. But it's a new ball game. You got to wear your mask. You got to put the gloves, social distancing. You got to wait, stay on the 6-foot lines. All arrow guys are all down there and telling everybody what to do and make sure that, you know, there's a compliance, which is good. It's a new it's a new kind of farmers market. It's not like it was before. And this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of the Kauai County Farm Board. In my opinion, I think it's safer to go to a farmer's market with your mask and stuff than to be in Costco or Safeway.
Yep.
Right?
Well,
It's
absolutely.
safer.
And you know, the vegetables are fresh. The vegetables are local. You're helping a local business, a local family, a farming family. It's much more tasty. There's so many reasons, and that's why we had, you know, decided get an expert on here that can then share with us. Now, this pandemic has also come with some challenges, especially I saw on TV the other night the florist that was trying to get ready for Mother's Day, and he relied on the flights coming, you know, from all over the world, really, to get some of their inventory, their flowers, so they could produce.
Yeah, Watanabe guys.
Yeah. And are you affected by that at all, as far as a Kauai flower? What do you call yourself? A flower farmer?
Tropical flower farmer. We're designers and we're exporters. Like, you know, we ship to your dad guys.
By the way, my dad is on, and he just said thank you, and he said that it brought tears to his eyes. He just posted.
Oh, how sweet! How sweet. So we have 2 regular flower shops that we deal with, and since this pandemic started and all the flower shops are closed, we have had no income from our 2 cash flow flower shops that we always have, and we barely started doing the farmers markets again. But thank God we've been able to export on a weekly basis. Okay, FedEx comes to our farm, our flower boxes go in the van. We get them to the East Coast or the West Coast in 2 business days from Hawaii. And right now we're being blessed. We're just like choked with orders for Mother's Day, because everybody's got a mom, right? Yeah. Our busiest days are like Christmas, Valentine's, and Mother's Day, but everybody has a mom. Not everybody got sweetheart, or you don't always give flowers for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
But that's a big day of the year.
Let me ask you a question. So you know, our viewers know that when you folks have the farmers market, you know, there is a question. Yes, we need to open back up, but you know, some have told me on messaging that even if we were to open restaurants and say we practice everything, social distancing, you have plexiglass set up and all that, some people are still kind of afraid, wanting to take that chance. So I guess the question I have for you is, when you set up your farmers market, is there like a pattern you have that people go through? So it forces them into social distancing. It forces them into a pattern that they walk and they look for their vegetables instead of kind of converging in on critical mass where you kind of violate that social distancing space. Do you folks have that set up at your markets?
When you're asking me if we Farm Bureau have that set up. We don't have a market right now, but we've been encouraging our vendors and our farmers to join the other different markets that are on the island, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But it's exactly what you're saying. For example, if I'm at my booth with my pop-up, I can only have Charlie Iona come to my table. The next person waiting is 6 feet back. Then there's a line with 6 feet again, and there's another line with 6 feet again. So nobody is congregating, and you must wear a mask. I gotta wear a mask, and you gotta wear a mask. So it's a whole different ballgame.
So for those individuals that you may have that say you get a big turnout, and you know that 6 feet distance, you can only stack so many, right? What do you tell the rest of the people? Like just to wait in their car and they'll be called up, or how does that work?
Some lines are longer than others. All depends on what's being purchased. And I have not noticed if people are waiting in their cars to be honest with you, if people are waiting in their cars for the lines to go down. That may be happening, but it's like actually my wife I'm in the farm on Saturdays and Wednesdays, but Terry, my wife Terry, she does the market, so she's been doing all that. But when I did the Puhi market with her for the first time, it's like, you know, we're kind of busy. People coming up, so I don't really have an answer for you, Charlie.
Okay.
If guys waiting in their car or they're congregating someplace else, and it's like take a number or something.
Well, you know, it's always been a safety question asked. You know, whenever we have these kind of shows like this, it pertains to, you know, I guess it's twofold for us trying to get the business generating to go to like what you're talking about tonight. But again, addressing those who may have safety concerns, if if it's set up correctly, so they can take advantage of it. They can take advantage of your services that the farmers have. So it's just one of the questions I wanted to ask.
It's a great question. So, and it's a good thing to say, because if people aren't thinking of going to any of these markets, be prepared to be socially distanced and bring your disposable gloves if you like, and your masks. Otherwise, you're not going to get in.
Okay.
And it's the thing to do, right? No, the sooner we comply, the sooner we get things back in business.
Yes.
I even hesitate to say getting back to normal, because it's not going to be back to normal right away, you know.
No.
But I rather say to getting back to business, right?
Yeah.
So
I know at the Puhi market or the Puhi fair, that field is, you know, a couple 100 yards, so
it's big.
The lines can go on for quite a while. But on the smaller markets, that might really be a concern. I know Kim just posted that she got scolding for touching the vegetables. They're not even allowed to touch the vegetables. They can point to the vegetable that they want to purchase, and the vendor will using gloves, package it and hand it over to the buyer. So
exactly,
it appears that all the safety measures are being taken to make sure it's a safe experience for everybody.
By every vendor's pop-up tent, there's rules right there, so the customer can see right away. Wear your mask. Don't touch anything. Stay 6 feet away. You know, if you're sick, get out of here. Different things like that. But there is precautions that the customer needs to take when they're coming up to buy something all the time. So we got the Puhi market, which is turning out really great. I mean, we're thankful, because a lot of our vendors that are out of market, which a lot of them do Sunshine Markets and the Kauai County Farm Bureau markets, they have Puhi, okay? And then in Kalaheo, Monkey Pot Jam is doing a fantastic CSA program with Hannah Wang and the Lin family. They're doing great CSA boxes, and she's putting meals together for families and all this sort of thing. And it's just taking off big time. I don't know if you guys been by Monkey Pot Jam and picked up any of their food boxes or any of the meals that they have to offer. They have a website, monkeypotjam.com, I think, if anybody's on that site and interested. And then, of course, going way to the west side, you have the Kekaha Ag Association with Mike Fay as the general manager. It's like 13,000 acres of ADC lands. I hear it's working out great. Stephanie is community outreach and government affairs. And I understand that that's working out great with their partners like Beck's, Corteva, Hartung, Kauai Shrimp, Wines of Kauai. It's working out fabulous. It's working out really great. So we're hitting all these different parts of the islands. We got that going on in Kekaha. We got in Lauai, we have Monkey Pot Jam. We have the Puhi Park Produce in Puhi, which is almost to Lihui. And then you have the food banks, the Kauai Independent Food Bank with Ernest Moniz, and then the Hawaii Food Bank with Wes Pereira and Michelle Pinoki. But they're just nonstop. They're just nonstop. The shops at Kukui'ula, the Farm Bureau Market that stopped, they're going to start taking up operating again on Wednesday, May 6th. And they're going to start out with produce and flowers from 3:30 to 5:30. So that's another outlet in Poipu. Let me see, shops Kukui'ula. There's a market at Kelia right across from the beach. And that is every Monday and Wednesday from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. They get fresh poi and fruits and vegetables and honey and all kind of things. And there's room. If there's any farmers out there that are listening, there's room for farmers to join their market too. And if you don't have a place to move your product right now, you can even call up Nikki Ige. It's NIGE@growfarm.com. Get in touch with Nikki and see if you can come onto the Puhi Park Market also. Anahola has a market up in Hawaiian Homes on Wednesdays and Sundays from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So that's going more towards the east side. At the Kauai store, you know where the Kauai store is by the Kapak Canal? Mm-hmm. By the bridge, by the river at Kapak, by the Kauai store, by over there by right before Ponokai if you're coming from Wailua. They're giving away all kind of canned goods and produce, and they need more produce from farmers to be giving away. And some stuff they're selling really reasonable and giving away to kupunas and stuff. And that's another thing happening on the east side. Moving out towards Kilauea, you have the Aina Ho'okupu o Kilauea. They're doing unbelievable. They've already done thousands of CSA boxes to most of the North Shore community, and I think they've brought some stuff out to Kekaha side, Charlie?
Yes, they have.
They've been helping out the Kekaha guys too. They're doing a fabulous job out there with Yoshi and all his family, and I know Auntie Sandy is helping them out too over there. And then Malama Kauai's doing their thing. There's social media. There's farmers are starting to post their product, what they have and where they are and where they're going to be. Also on Facebook and Instagram. Kauai County Farm Bureau has a Facebook page if you guys want to check it out and like it. And anytime I see any farmer selling their goodies, I share it on that page too. It's all about, and then of course we cannot forget meat. There's so much good meat, Leong's and Andrade's and Sanchez. Our ranchers have some awesome meat right now. So next time, before you guys go to Costco or Walmart go buy your meat, buy them from the local ranchers. We need to support our ranchers and our farmers.
Now, where get a hold of them?
Andrade's, that's a good question. I know Leong's has a shop right behind the Seto building across from Kapau Ballpark. And Andrade's is on the west side, right?
I think they up on Kalaheo.
I think so. So Andrade's is going to be at the Kukui'ula Market on Wednesdays.
Okay.
So people can go there on Wednesdays to go see Andrade's. And Sanchez, I'm sure if you go up to the store in the Wailua Homesteads, you can get hooked up with their meat there. They sell their meat at the store, the Sanchez Wailua Market.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, I mean, now is the time that we need to support our farmers. We need to support our ranchers. We need to go shop at Suyoka store. We need to go shop at the Big Save markets and the Times supermarkets. We need to think seriously about import replacement. You guys with me?
Yep.
That's it.
We-
Johnny, I think that's where, we hear so much about diversification of our economy. But when you go to Costco, you see the line outside of Costco is ridiculous. We are
Yeah.
not going to diversify our economy if we're buying all our meat from Costco, if we're buying our produce from Costco. This is an opportunity. We've said this, Charlie has been saying this for weeks now. This is a reset. This
It
is an
is.
opportunity for every one of us. My wife we never did this before. I'll be honest with you. We have never really purchased. She shops at Foodland, but Leong's had a thing where you can buy a pre-packaged package fruits and vegetables. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting. It was $30, was $30 or $35, and you'd go and you pick up. They bring it to your car, and again, you don't know. It's a surprise, but you open them up. It's like Sam Choi's box, chopped on TV, and you look at it and it's like, wow, things that you would not normally purchase, but now you have it and you can try use them. And
I think that's
more
cool.
people-
Something
so cool.
something different, right?
And it's just, all of that produce came from a local farmer, somebody that
Exactly.
is not in Costco. And if we want to ever have a shot at diversifying our economy, then stay out of Costco for things that you can buy locally. That's
Exactly. We need to support our population. There's no tourists right now. We need to feed each other. We need to support our farmers, and we need to help the people that not working. And because so when the lockdown was announced, none of us rushed to buy gold, land, car, or expensive mobile phones, right?
Yeah.
But all of us rushed to buy fruits and vegetables and milk and bread. Farmers are the soul of our nation. We need to respect them. Yeah?
Yep.
Absolutely.
We need to buy from our local farmers. We need buy food from our restaurants. A lot of our local restaurants have takeouts. Buy from them. Buy from our local restaurants. No more hotels. Shop at the local markets. Big Save, Times, Suyokas, places like that. So it makes us think, where should our valuable dollars be spent? And these are the kind of places that our money should be spent. Yeah?
I did want to add Medeiros Farms up in Kalaheo as well. Someone
please
just
do.
posted. They have meat as well, chicken, eggs, I think, Medeiros eggs. But I know they have meat up there, right up in Kalaheo on Papalino Road. So that's just one more local place that you can get food.
That's so awesome that people are making those kind of comments, because I mean, like, I've only got two hands. I'm like handicapped.
Well, I tell you, we got a lot of comments and we got a lot of people watching, and more will watch, after the show. And we'll recap as I look at the clock. We'll recap at the end. So Johnny, we can go through each one. And then what I'll do for our viewers, I'll work on getting a contact list of all the places, the schedules, and all of these places that have it. And we'll post it on our page.
Oh, nice.
For those of you that. But I tell you, these vegetables. I started a garden, Johnny. I started a garden.
Yay!
It's like I'm tripping out every day. It's up on my chain link fence now of green beans, and we got bell peppers and tomatoes, and what else we got? We got eggplant, and oh man, I'm excited.
Before days, everybody had gardens. Our parents and grandpa, they all had gardens in their yards, right?
Yes, they did.
So we're getting back to this this awareness that if we can actually feed ourselves and feed our neighbors. But I'm not saying that everybody has the time to do that. That's why our farmers and ranchers play a big part, a respectful part in this whole picture. They're still working. They're still doing what they need to do to feed us all. Thinking about future goals. I have some notes here anyway. Thinking about some future goals that I would like to share with the audience. We need to get all our local products into the grocery stores, you know, into the Safeways, into the Walmarts, into the Times supermarkets. We need to promote our local products in these markets, and the CSA boxes. Even after this thing is all over, what's wrong with having an aggregation center where people can come up and still pick up a box of food, right? It doesn't have to be during a pandemic time, right?
Yep.
Our goals should be to increase farm sales from our local farms. Like I just mentioned about aggregation system, that's sustainable, but not just sustainable, that's also profitable. Kind of like a farm to state thing. We need to, this is a major lesson for all of us to think about, where are we going from here? How are our farmers markets going to be different? How are we going to get ready for the next pandemic? We need to prepare ourselves. You know, we need to start clearing the land, planting the seeds. Charlie.
Yeah, there's many, you know, I think one of the things that's been tossed around is that with this pandemic, it was sort of like a big scrubbing brush that would scrub the slate clean. And so we get an opportunity where everything went wrong before and not to repeat it again. But it's just like, as far as stimulating the minds to say, okay, this is how we should do it, but yet look at all the pros and cons to whatever we put on the table. Because whatever we try to decide to do, human nature, we revert back to what we're comfortable with. And that is when we go back to the old ways. So we go back to the old ways, and those are mistakes before. We can see that. It's trying to get everybody to think, don't repeat those mistakes. So now, if we're looking at, you know, one thing I would ask myself for all of our farmers in trying to help them, why was it so difficult to break into the market? Something was there that may either prevented them from getting their products into the market, or maybe it was because the market says, hey, we needed this amount that had to be produced every week and they couldn't. Something had to be there. And I think we got to start at that point. What is that you want to call it a plexiglass shield that's barring our farmers, our ag people here locally from really getting to the markets to make a dent for self-sustainability here on island, instead of always having to be flown in from outside or brought in by ship? I think those are one of the things we got to look at. What's your take?
But part of that was what you just said. They need a consistent, steady supply from somebody to know that they're always going to have cabbage and cucumbers and zucchinis and chili peppers and romaine lettuce and all these things. So they look to the big boys with the big land and everything else to get that consistent, steady supply. So like you said, Charlie, that's a good lesson for us. So maybe we need to educate ourselves and think about going into the market and see what's on the shelves, and that'll give us an idea. Okay, this is what we need to start growing a lot of. If we really want to seriously talk about import replacement and fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, that's going to help our farmers and keep us healthy and boost our economy and have us ready for the next cutoff from somebody else. That was a good point, Charlie. So like you said, we got to work towards the future. And then the restaurants and the hotels closing, that was another hurdle. That didn't help us at all. And like we've been mentioning, we've had this over-reliance on imported foods for all these years, right? So what is the role of our farmers? What is their role in reducing that dependence? That's another question that we need to ask is, what is our farmers' role in reducing that dependence on these products? We need to move to food self-sufficiency, yeah? You guys know we bring in 90% of our food. That's a dangerous gamble if you ask me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Is price, Johnny, is price an issue? The fact that obviously the big boys can sell their produce to the stores at a much lower rate,
Oh, of
giving the
course.
store a much higher profit margin. I mean, that's tough. And I think when you look at the reset, when you look at doing a reassessment, and if we're all in this together, if we're all in this together, then if everyone did it, if everyone utilized the local farmers. I know a lot of the hotels now, because it's a selling point. When you look at a menu and you see at a restaurant and you see all locally produced organic vegetables or meat, it's a selling point, not just for locals, but for the
It
visitors.
is.
And they are purchasing these commodities or this food and meat at a higher cost, but they're also producing a much better experience for the guests. So, but if as long as we have those Costco's, and I'll be frank with you, Kauai is a small place. We know a lot of people, and on Facebook you see these people that are complaining about corporate America and about diversifying our economy, but they're right there at Costco loading up their big carts. So, but if we don't all make that conscious decision that, let's all do this. This has taught us here. Tonight we ordered food from Wong's out in Hanapepe. They had a delivery service tonight, delivered all the way out here to Wailua. Trying to
Wow.
support that local restaurants. And if
Exactly,
more of us
right.
did that, when the pandemic is over, when this crisis passes, then I think the farmers and the restaurants, the small local people will be able to survive.
That's what I mean. Like support like the Simon Dojos and the Kenichi restaurants and Pacos and El Pastor burritos and things like that and like Monaco's. No need to go Burger King and Taco Bell and McDonald's, right? Go
You,
to
you
what
know,
go
I
to
think
a restaurant.
what's going to happen too is, and I hate to say it because as a musician, sometimes my attitude wasn't always the greatest. When somebody asked for help, and I think I already told myself and I told the guys in the group. I said, we're going to have to change our attitude when it comes to if somebody asks for help. Let's just give them. It's not always about the dollar, because if we do a good job, the dollar gonna come on its own. And I think we all got to change that attitude, because there are some places that got so hard hit, but yet I remember how the service was terrible. And I just tell myself, I'll go back and patronize, but I hope this is an experience that's going to teach you that we all vying for that same dollar. So we got to give the best of ourselves. We got to give the best aloha we can to make the we got to make it. We got to make everything the best that we can. And we
Exactly.
cannot shortchange, because the bottom line is, people don't need to come to us. They can go down to Cancun, Mexico if they want. Okay, they get sun, sea, surf, everything down there that we get over here. But we get aloha. They get aloha in their own way. So that's why I'm saying, if they're gonna come here, we really gotta put our best foot forward to show them why you come here and why you're gonna get the best bang for the buck. And at the same time, we cannot be hold out and nickel and diming the people that can, come here to really to infuse a whole new set of cash flow into our system. And I think everything starts with us first, how we treat each other. And if we can treat each other first really good, then that naturally going to spread outwards to our visitor industry when it's time to open up. That's I feel that.
That's an excellent. That's why we need to like you say, Charlie, is we need to love on each other. We need to appreciate what we have. We have water, we have land, we have people, we have farmers and ranchers that are willing to work their okolis to feed us and provide us with fresh fruits and vegetables and meat and pork and all these things. So we need to go there, and we need to think about our long-term food security and our resilience to all these kind of things, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And another thing is too, once these things out, we need to continue to do and expand our farm to school program. We need to continue to do that, and we need to get more farmers. And this is a great lesson for that right now. So thanks to Senator Kochi and Steph and all these people that got this all together. That's another thing looking to the future that we need. We need to continue to fan that flame and strengthen our local food production and our local markets. Most definitely.
Is is there an issue with schools supplying their or the state supplying their schools with local produce? Has that been rectified? I know that there were some issues. I know there's some programs out there, you know, specific programs that, but as far as overall, generally speaking, that's still not happening to the extent that it could be, correct?
I'm not an expert in that field because I think Auntie Stephanie would be have some really good solid answers, and even Senator Kochi, because they've been the champions for that program. Some of our farmers have been a part of it, but those guys are pretty much the champions for that. I would pass the baton to them. They've been doing a fantastic job, and it's going to get better. I'm sure it is.
Hey, Johnny, let me ask you. Someone had asked this, you know, you being a owner of your own business in basically agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
Is it expensive to have a business in the state of Hawaii right now with all the taxes that everybody pays? I mean, what's your take on it? Having your own business and trying to stay afloat, and with everything that the state puts upon you just to operate in the state. What? Give me your feedback.
Well, I guess it all depends on as a farmer, as a grower, it all depends on what commodity you are growing, and what location you are at, and how long you have been in business, and so what kind of quality standards do you have? What kind of a customer base and a cash flow have you established after all these years? Anybody starting out in a new business for the first time, there's going to be a lot of hoops and hurdles to jump over and to run through. But once you've been doing it, like our flower business, we've been doing this for over 25 years already. And we don't have a storefront. Everything comes fresh from our farm to your door, you know? And we're doing okay. I mean, everybody has taxes and has overhead, some more than others. It all depends on what you're growing and how you're growing it.
Okay.
But we do need to raise up more farmers. Like Yoshi guy's out in Kilauea, he's got interns working on their farm right now. Okay, and that's like a 75-acre parcel out there. He's got interns, young high school kids and stuff like that that are all jazzed about working in a farm, which is kind of, you know, not the norm nowadays, right? Everybody's all into technology and everything, and they're loving it. And so eventually, when they can prove themselves, then he's going to say, okay, here's your 2 acres. Start growing everything that you like, and he can buy their food and put it into the food mart. And that stuff is, so it's kind of like we need to start training up more farmers. We have the Go Farm programs that are statewide programs, which are working out really good. But people need to learn, if we're going to feed our population, okay, and talk about all this import replacement and everything else, we need to train people up to be farmers, not just yardiners. People need to be trained up to be farmers, to know what the real deal is. And there's so much new technology with irrigation and everything else nowadays that it may become a little bit more appealing to the younger generation.
Well, I think projects like Kilauea and with, you know, getting those interns out there, I think those incubator type models, you know, that model could be used on the west side, or, you know, anywhere really that you have land. And I think that's part of the problem right now, is trying to secure the land. Although the state has a lot of land, a lot of the land is not even farmable. And you know, we tend to have over the years, you know, gave up ag land for subdivisions and so forth. And I think, you know, while there is a need for housing as well, you know, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. If we want to look at farming as a viable industry here on Kauai, then it comes with some sacrifice as well. And the state has to come in. The county's got to come in with cheap water for our farmers, and then these programs that expose kids to farming to get back in the dirt. You know, when I was in high school, we could take home ec or agriculture.
Or FFA, right?
FFA. Well, I joined the FFA because I really wanted their jacket, but we were in the dirt. We were in the dirt, and it was amazing how, you know, to watch these things grow. But the emphasis now is just not there. And again, it's a whole mindset that cannot be just the farmers or just the ranchers. It's got to really come from the government and the industry and the restaurants. Everybody's got to be a part of it if this is truly what we want. You know, if not all the restaurants are buying local, if everybody's still going to Costco and Walmart, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to create this alternative here on Kauai. Yet we have land, sun, water, everything you need, and it's going to be very difficult.
I noticed that there's a trend now for more restaurants and chefs to be using more local products, because like you mentioned earlier, Mel, a lot of the visitors, they're thinking green, and they're like, wow, this is local beef, this is local fruits, this is local vegetables. I like this because I can eat the other kind anytime I want. Now there's a specialty about coming to Hawaii that I don't always get at home, right?
Yeah,
but it can be a plus.
That in that box or that package that we got from Leong's, that was where you got the beets, Patsy.
Yeah, I think it's from Yoshi's place.
Yeah, so we got beets, locally grown beets. I love beets. I love beets. My beets come right out of a can. But Patsy boiled those beets. I'll be honest, I cannot tell a difference. That thing was fresh, was dirty when we got them. She had to clean them and peel them and boil them, and man, I tell you, was no. Yeah, she had to Google for find out how to make beets. But you know what? That damn beets is good.
Exactly. So we should maybe you and the mayor should do some cooking shows on how to cook all these rutabaga and all these things that we don't normally eat, but that a lot of the farmers are growing. Yeah.
That is a brilliant idea. Brilliant idea.
You know, do a little cooking show, or maybe with that gift box, put in a recipe. This is what you can do with your beets. This is what you can do with your rutabaga. You know, and then Yoshi had an idea. They were doing like a hamburger, a local beef thing, and with some vegetables and stuff inside. But they also put a taro burger in this thing. Okay. And normally, if you get one big food box and you see a taro burger, you're gonna go, "Well, I never had a taro burger before. I might as well try them. I'm not gonna throw them away, right?"
Absolutely.
You know, and then maybe the next time you might order a box with only taro burgers. So there's an educational component involved here too. Sounds like, yeah.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of people are going through that. You know, when I have a raised garden bed, you know, a little box, and I went to go buy some potting soil, and you could hardly find them. I had to go to Home Depot. It's the only place that had potting soil. Everybody's buying potting soil for their gardens now. They're buying, you know, box gardens or, you know, pots and growing. I know Bitos Gandia, he's on the call right now from the west side. He's growing a garden. Really nice stuff coming out of that. I didn't think Bitos had it in him, but he's doing a damn good job.
Yeah, I see all his posts on Facebook because we're friends on Facebook, and he's out in his garden with enjoying it, has it with his Heineken and everything, you know, and his vegetables are growing great.
I think, but you know, I know Bitos real good, and how you doing, Bitos? But I think that garden that he shows on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, that's his neighbor's garden.
That's not his.
Yeah. I was thinking that he said probably stealing pictures from somebody else's Facebook page. I served in the Air National Guard with Bitos, and I get a hard time believe that's him, but that's him. That's him.
He's a clown. He's such a good guy. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
he is, and I'm waiting for his post. Let me get to a couple of questions. One of the questions I noticed we kind of went over this
Sure.
segment, but animals at the fairs, at the sunshine markets, do they allow animals, pets?
Oh, you mean like dogs and cats?
Yeah,
I mean assist dogs?
not assist dogs. Obviously, we know the assist dogs, the service animals cannot be denied, but
I know
pets.
at the college when we did our community market at the college, only assist dogs could be present
Okay,
because no animals were allowed on the state property at the college. You could only have your assist dog.
okay.
That was it. But I think it would all depend on the location, Mel.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that was just one of the questions that popped up. There's a lot of comments on here
Okay.
about farming. I think a lot of people here are here cooking show with Uncle Mel. I mean, not Uncle Mel, Mel and Uncle Charlie. That would be funny, Charlie. What would if we had a cooking show? What would you seriously? I know you're thinking of something funny, but what would you cook?
I would cook foie gras, you know. Foie gras. You know, because my culinary background from Kauai is French.
French dip.
I'm really hurt right now. Somebody just posted, not fair. Mel going cheat. He going to use his wife. Wow.
No faith in you, huh?
One of the things I wish I had learned was the Portuguese sweetbread. Or the Portuguese bread in general. My grandma had the stone oven.
Oh wow.
Oh my God. But I watched her knead the dough. I watched her sweating like an ox as she pounded the big pan, the big pot of the dough. That ain't something I did not want to do. That was a lot of hard work. And then, but when the bread came out of that stone oven, and we just did this several months ago. We went to my Auntie Alice Aruta's house across the hospital, and she still has a stone oven. I
Wow.
gotta tell you, man, so it's an all-day affair. And when that thing came out of the oven, and I didn't realize, they didn't tell me, but she brought out the Portuguese bean soup. This was all authentic stuff. Not it's just the same way my grandma used to make them. Wow. I know my dad is on there probably dropping some tears right now, but I wish I had learned that art, because that's what it is. It's an art. And it's sadly a dying art, but that's kind of what I would like to do. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can go grab the recipe from my auntie and try. I mean, I'm sure it won't be good, but what the heck, it'd make a good show.
Yeah, definitely. I think I can sure learn. Most of the stuff that I cook is just real local. And since I've been on this health kick with tofu, I can show you 80 million different ways how to prepare tofu. You know what I mean? But I think we got to make something with substance that it touches dairy, vegetables, your proteins, your meats, your fishes, something like that. We can do a cooking show, and we just I would suggest we do it close to the fire department, because I know something will catch on fire.
Tyson Moises said he like see me make rice.
What kind of rice?
I'll do the rice.
Just plain rice or ganduri rice?
Oh boy, regular rice.
Oh.
Regular rice. Old style. You put your finger in the water, go up to the first line in your finger. That's how you know it's the right way. I know some people don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but anyway.
No, that's the old style, but then the Yakuza, they can use that method.
No finger.
I worry every night. I worry what's gonna come out of that man's mouth. You don't even know. So going forward, Johnny, aside from all of us patronizing the farmers and the ranchers and the florists and all of that, the local ones, what challenges you see going forward now? I mean, flights will start to come in again. We'll see more tourists, but I don't think we'll see a complete opening up for a while. That's we don't know. This thing changes every single day. But what are the major challenges? Do you think right now that the farmers that are in place right now can sustain this time? They can absorb the losses really because they are losing. But you believe right now that they can sustain themselves until we get to the other side of this thing?
Well, it's something that's going to have to be managed, and maybe that's a role that the Farm Bureau can play or the county can play, because all the things that the farmers are selling now, they've been in the ground for 2-3 months. Okay, it's not something you just put in and that thing come out overnight. So there needs to be planning. So now as we see this thing moving forward, maybe the people that are doing the CSA boxes and things like that need to say, oh, you guys got to grow more cucumbers. You guys got to grow more broccoli. You guys got to grow more zucchini. So there needs to be a plan. If we're going to become sustainable and have a wide spectrum of healthy food for us all to eat, then we need to work together and to plan what's going to be grown and how much of it's going to be grown. Now, when the tourists come back on, I don't know if our local farmers can handle all the hotels and the caterings and all the events and the weddings and all these things that were the norm. I think a lot of that stuff was brought in. But I think there's a good chance that we almost don't have much of a chance but to do what we can to support our farmers now. I know you still have Isakis and Kauai producers and the wholesalers, and I'm sure they're bringing in a lot of stuff, but where's it going? Who's it going to? Because they're not sending it to the hotels. They're not sending it to the restaurants. They're probably Costco is probably buying from them, and the Walmarts and the Time supermarkets and the Safeways and the Foodland is probably buying from all these wholesalers. So how do we get our local products in our local markets is a big challenge too for the future.
I think as far as capacity, right? I mean, I think there's always going to be that demand for the wholesalers. I mean, there's no way that it'll be difficult for the local farmers alone to support or supply all of the grocery stores on the island. But if the people had a choice, so if they did go to Costco or they went and they had this choice of local produce, I think it's the mindset. Yeah, getting everybody here, the local people here, to say, you know what, I'm going to buy local. I'm going to buy local. And, obviously the demand goes up, the supply will go up, the farmers will be able to plant more and harvest more and provide more. But if the demand is limited, then you cannot overplant and overgrow, and it's just something that we as individuals, we as government, like the state coming out with a policy that all the schools are going to be provided foods locally as much as possible, and just to support the agriculture industry here. Otherwise, I'm sorry, the reality is tourism will be the overriding industry, and that's not going to change.
So right now is the perfect time to seriously think about these things. Right now is the open door. Right now is the open window, because our farmers are caught in the middle of this crisis and could be a casualty that we can little afford to lose. So now at this time, they need our support as much as we need theirs. We need each other's support. We need them and they need us. Yeah.
That's powerful. I think as I'm reading the comments, a lot of people are agreeing with you, Johnny. I think a lot of people have been educated tonight, as I have.
That's awesome.
And I'm sure Charlie. what I wanted to do before because this hour goes by real quick, but I wanted to, if you could, real quick, start from one side of the island again, and let us know where all the sunshine markets are.
Okay.
And the different markets. Pay attention, people. Take out your notepad. Look at Charlie. He getting his guitar already.
I'm gonna give background music while he's
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good. Okay.
Start on the west side.
Okay, we'll start on the west side. Let's start with Keikaha Ag Association, and they can contact Stephanie. Stephanie is the overseer for that whole project out there, the Keikaha Ag Association, and they're working with a lot of the Hartung and Beck's and all these companies. Then we have let me see. We have the Monkey Pod Jam in Kauai that's doing CSA boxes and has great meals. monkeypodjam.com. We have the Puhi Park. I gotta look at my list here. Okay, then we have a Monkey Pod Jam. We have the Puhi Park Market, which is on Wednesdays from 2 to 4 and Saturdays from 10 to 2. The shops at Kukui'ula, which is going to start up again this Wednesday from 3:30 to 5:30, and they'll have protein there like beef and fresh fruits and vegetables also. The next thing is I did mention Kupuna Care, and if somebody's interested in an online farmers market, they can go to tryeathawaii.com and see what's there for people to eat and to work it out with the grower. Kalia Market, Mondays and Wednesdays from 3 to 6 o'clock. Anahola Market on Wednesdays and Sundays from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock. There's a lot of goodies at the Kauai store across from Pono Market by the canal. And moving out towards the North Shore, Ainaho Okupu o Kilauea, you can call up Yoshi folks, and they have a website, Ainaho Okupu o Kilauea. Then Malama Kauai has some things going on, and of course, there's social media. The social media is a big player in this nowadays, and getting the word out for everything. Then you have Leong's, Andrade's, and Sanchez, all the different meat companies on the island. Somebody mentioned, was it Metagold in Kalaheo?
Madera's Farms.
Oh, Madera's Farms.
Madera's Farms. There's Aloha Sweet Delights in Kamakani that's doing meat as well. There's
Aloha Sweet Delights.
Yeah, Aloha Sweet Delights in Kamakani. There's DarrellDistribution.com, delivering local meat to your doorstep. There's a lot more, and I'll try to research as much as I can within the next few days and get it up on our Facebook page. But that is
that'd be terrific.
We all can contribute. We all can help. Buy local. We've definitely changed our habits since COVID hit Kauai. My wife and I. So we're gonna continue. I gotta promote this shirt real quick again. I don't know if you've seen this yet.
Yeah.
This is our show shirt, and Kirk Correa from Island Athletic Tees donated the shirts. If anybody wants a shirt, it's only $10, man. You cannot buy a shirt for $10 anymore. But this is a memento for this crisis. But yeah, please just message me if you want a shirt. I just need to know how many and the sizes, and I'll send you the PayPal or Venmo link. Other than that, Johnny, any closing comments that you want to? Thousands of people are going to see this, man.
You mentioned Kirk Correa. I saw his mom, Maxine. She looks amazing.
Yeah,
she looks amazing. When I retired from working for 32 years up at the Ag Research Station up in Wailua Homestead, and his dad used to be our farm manager.
Yeah.
Anton.
Yeah. So, most of us here right now come from agriculture.
Yeah.
Most of us come from agriculture. I just, I just didn't, but I stopped. But grandpas and all of that, farmers, man, agriculture, ranchers, cowboys, and it was fun.
Anyway, my final comments is thank you everybody for spending the time with us. I'm honored. Like I said, I've only got two hands. I'm handicapped. I want to continue learning more about what can be done. When you get around to sharing all that information, Mel, we'll be happy to share it. I'm sure everybody watching will share with their friends, and that's what it's all about. And buy Kauai. Buy Kauai right now. Buy Kauai. It matters. Do everything you can to buy Kauai from the farmers and the ranchers and from our local businesses.
Who? Who? What? Derek who? Is that public notice? Oh, I didn't notice, but my wife, she's our producer, by the way. A big hand for my wife, the producer.
Yay!
I didn't notice, but Derek had surgery. Our mayor had surgery today. So
What?
the wife posted. So prayers out to Derek. Did she say what kind of surgery? Hernia.
What? Aye.
Oh,
Yeah. So prayers out to Derek, Mayor Kawakami.
yes.
The only reason I'm saying it because the wife just posted it on social media. So
Oh,
it is
wow.
not private. But anyway, prayers out to our mayor. Quick, speedy recovery. He's probably already in the EOC, recovering in EOC. They probably set up a little recovery room in EOC. God bless him. Prayers go out to him. That guy's a workaholic. All right, Charlie. Anyway, Johnny, I don't know if you've ever seen the end of our show, but what we do, I'm doing my owl impersonation. Yeah, I was going, who. Every week, every night we do this. Every night the whole objective was to get people to follow the rules and flatten this curve as soon as we can. And we've done that. We did, Kauai has been very good but it wasn't always that way. And we tried to get people to flatten the curve. They never did listen. We even threatened to go out and create a COVID patrol, and Charlie and I would go out and arrest people and force them to stay with us for 24 consecutive hours. That didn't work. That didn't work as well. So we came up with an idea that if people would not flatten the curve, then we would collectively flatten their ears. Okay? So Johnny, thank you very much. Charlie, if you want to take us away, buddy.
It's a low.
What we're going to do, every guest we have just gets flabbergasted. Like, what is wrong with these people? We're going to put that all together and have a video at the end of all of this. But anyway, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, same place, guys. We'll see you guys here. Johnny, have a good night. Stay safe. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Love you guys. God bless. Take care. Hey, happy May Day.